Rooted in a third-generation family farm in Darlington, you'll find Covered in Cotton. Today I'm visiting with proprietor Tracy Woodard. Tracy, the mission of Covered in Cotton is all about cultivation.
Yes, and really that's in three parts. So to cultivate the natural comfort and quality of cotton, and also to invite people into relationships to learn more about agriculture. And then lastly, to cultivate a cause that shares hope and tells a story.
Let's start with that first part. Let's learn more about your cotton products.
Absolutely. So all of our cotton products are made exclusively from the cotton we grow on our third generation family farm here in Darlington. And our throw collection is our original collection. We have 4 different designs in it. They're all a 50 by 70 inch oversized throw. And that collection is the natural color of the cotton. We just recently launched what we call the Rooted Throw collection, and so that's one of our designs in our original collection that are colored with some rich colors that are kind of rooted in South Carolina agriculture and history: Carolina pine, wheat penny, true indigo. And then we also have baby blankets that are more of a swaddle type of blanket. That we have 3 designs in those. And then we have hand towels that are made out of the same fabric as our baby blankets. And then also some hand towels that feature some family recipes.
Oh, how neat.
Yes.
So sharing another little piece of the story.
Right. So really our heart is the things that are most important to us, and that's our faith, our family, and our farm. So you'll find those woven throughout everything that we do.
Fantastic. And then that second part of your mission is about cultivating relationships, and in the sense all around agriculture.
So we've been growing cotton on our family farm for generations, and it's a really special plant that we're very fond of. The growing process, we plant in the spring, then it grows obviously throughout the springtime. It actually puts on a flower in early summertime.
Beautiful flowers.
It is. And a lot of people don't know that it does flower. It's actually a cousin to the hibiscus and to okra. So it's a tropical plant that loves our South Carolina weather. And that flower starts out as a white flower that over a few days turns into a pink flower that then dries out and the cotton boll actually starts to form. And so then as you move into the fall, that brings out the white fiber as it emerges, and we start to harvest, usually around late September into October.
It's a quite intensive process, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. We've got some really incredible technology that allows us to do it more efficiently than ever before, but it does take quite a bit of time, and a lot depends on weather and conditions and that type of thing. So it can take a couple of months to get all of it harvested.
And then once you've got the harvested cotton, what's the next step in the journey? Ginning, is that what happens next?
That's right. So on our farm, all of our cotton is ginned. We gin locally here in Darlington County at Coker Gin in Hartsville. And the ginning process is essentially removing the seed from the fiber, the lint. And that process, samples are taken from all of our cotton and classed, so we know what the fiber length is, what the strength is, how clean the fiber is. We get all of that information back, and we can trace all of that back to the field it was grown in. And so for Covered in Cotton, we take the highest quality that we grow based on that information and select out those bales to use through Covered in Cotton.
So now we've grown the cotton, harvested it, ginned it, and now I'm assuming we need to make it into some sort of yarn material?
That's right. So the bales that we select out, and on a typical year we'll grow around 2,000 acres of cotton.
That's a lot of cotton.
Yes, it is. And what we select out for Covered in Cotton is around 5% of that. So we look at that as a big opportunity to grow. The rest of the cotton that's not through Covered in Cotton goes on the global market, and so we have no idea where it ends up.
It could end up all over the globe.
That's right. And so what we pull out for Covered in Cotton goes to the yarn spinner in Thomasville, North Carolina, And so they do a ring spun process there, which requires a really high quality cotton, but it's a stronger, softer yarn. From there, it goes to Hickory, North Carolina, where it's plied together. So our yarns are a 2-ply, which basically means they take 2 strands of yarn and twist them together. From there, it comes back into South Carolina, into Blacksburg. We work with a commercial weaver and formulate all of our weave designs with them, and our fabrics and our throws. And so they weave everything together. And then from there, it comes back into Darlington County in Lamar. We work with a company called Craig Industries, and they sew on the labels for the throws, and they cut and sew our hand towels and baby blankets, and are a great part of what we do. Really, every piece of the puzzle we look at them as part of the family. They're all in rural communities in the Carolinas and are family-owned companies that are local here, and so we love getting to share some of their story and what they do and what they're experts at. No one partner that we work with is more than 150 miles away. And so once it leaves Craig Industries in Lamar, it comes here to us, back on the farm, and we package everything and process all of our orders through our website, cultivating.com, and then we ship those out across the world.
And the last part of your mission with Cultivation is to cultivate a cause that tells a story and shares hope. I think our viewers will be really inspired to learn more about your story.
Yes. So I didn't grow up on a farm, but being a part of my husband's family farm, just really found a passion for agriculture and for sharing that story. And so we would have this conversation about how it'd be really cool if we had a product that we could share with the end consumer. And we just never thought of really any good ideas until December of 2017. The Lord woke me up from a dream, and the dream was covered in cotton. The name, the logo,
everything
that we were supposed to take the cotton that we grow on our family farm and make it into blankets. And so I wrote everything down, and then I woke Ty up and told him, hey, this sounds crazy, but the Lord has given me this vision and showed me what we're supposed to do with this conversation that we've just kind of had here and there. And like the amazing husband he is, he said, well, let's do that. That sounds like a great idea.
Wow, how about that?
And so that really started the journey for us. But exactly 2 years prior to that, we were living a nightmare.
That's right.
We have 3 kiddos. Our youngest 2 are twins, Tobin, our little boy, and Tyson, our little girl. They were 3 months old, and Tobin contracted bacterial meningitis.
How devastating. It must have been,
Yes.
any parent's worst nightmare to have such a serious illness.
Yes, and December is starting, it's our first Christmas as a family of 5, and that was not on my list of things to do. But that season really, I can look back now and see what a gift of perspective it was, because in those moments of our son being whisked away into an intensive care unit in Columbia at the Children's Hospital, the things that really mattered, and the things that didn't.
How true. And you had, I'm sure, lots of special people, wonderful doctors, nurses, support staff, but one nurse in particular
Yes.
that really touched your lives.
Yes. Through that season, Tobin actually had to have emergency brain surgery, and he did fantastic through all of it. But we had so many incredible people love on us, and one nurse in particular, her name was Allie, and she was our very first nurse when we were admitted to the hospital, but she came and found us a couple of weeks later and brought us a blanket. And so as we came home, and even since, Tobin is completely healed in every way. He's doing fantastic. He's 7 years old and in first grade and doing great.
So wonderful to hear.
Yes, but that blanket at the time was a really practical gift because we lived in the hospital for 35 days. But afterwards and even now, it was a symbol of the Lord's just covering and protecting over our family. So he brought all of that back to mind during that dream, exactly 2 years later. And so for every 10 throw blankets we sell, we donate one to a local children's hospital in South Carolina. And then for every 10 baby blankets we sell, we donate one to a local family ministry.
I love the philanthropy and how you've taken such a challenging situation in your life and you're using it to then help and enrich the lives of others. Tracy, it's been wonderful learning more about Covered in Cotton, about the history of Woodard Farms, and how you have transformed into a totally locally grown, locally sourced business, and I'd say you have achieved your mission.
Thank you.